One is it's a 12-minute video. We're gonna watch it, and this one is going to go up more as a long-form video. It's about how AI works. I have a lot to say about AI, but we're going to wait to watch this video. I have a lot to say about AI, both good and bad things, but we're gonna watch this video.
For joining me. You know, in the midst of these unprecedented and crazy times, government shutdown, Trump's devastation of healthcare in America, climate change, the move toward authoritarianism, the horrific war in Gaza, the growth of oligarchy, etc., etc., etc. I want to take a few minutes talking about another issue of enormous consequence that just doesn't get the kind of attention I think it deserves. Everybody agrees that artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics are going to have a transformative impact on our country and the world. There is very little disagreement about that. There are, however, very strong disagreements as to what those impacts will be, who will benefit from these changes and who will be hurt. So here is my take. Some of the very wealthiest people in the world, including Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and others, are now investing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars into these revolutionary, transformative technologies. Now, why is that? Why are they doing that?
It's the next gold mine. It's unfortunately the next gold mine. Yes, so it's investing essentially. If something is going to influence the world hugely, you want to have a huge say in how it influences the world. It's the next gold mine, you know. It's how you control things without technically being in control or publicly being in control. It's okay. It's the same method that Henry Ford used. I don't know if you guys know who Henry Ford is. He's the guy who invented the car. Before Henry Ford, there was horses. Horses were man's best friend. It wasn't dogs. Horses were man's best friend. Horses took man everywhere. Protected man. Horses were the best thing ever invented. And then Henry Ford said, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said they wanted a faster horse. I am going to give them a car. A car is a lot harder to maintain than a horse. You could just feed a horse, grass is around on the field, the horse could just eat. But a car is hard to maintain. You gotta get gas. You require money, and a lot of obviously require money to take care of a horse, but you require a lot more money to take care of a car. Due to this, a lot of people were mad at him, saying you're going to ruin jobs. You're going to take away jobs due to the fact that horseshoe makers are not gonna have as many jobs. The horse health practitioners, they're not gonna have as many jobs. There are a lot of people who there were jobs centered around the whole horse industry, and those jobs stopped being there because he invented the car. And then he invented the solution, and then invented a problem so that he could solve the problem with the solution. He made sure that the roads were for cars and not people, because before, if you get run over by a car, the car is the problem, and whoever's driving the car is a problem. Nowadays, the what's it called, the J crossing, you know, the jaywalking law says that the person who crossed the road is the problem. He changed everything just to make sure that the cars were more important. And also, if you're ever in American streets, you see how the roads are. Everywhere you go, there's a McDonald's. Everywhere you go, there's a Wendy's. It's because of him. He industrialized the entire walking area to make sure that cars are there. He changed the world, and he invested into that because he wanted to control the world to a sense. That's the same thing that's happening with AI. A lot of people are saying that AI is taking people's jobs. Technology is going to take people's jobs. Uber took the job of taxi drivers. Technology is always going to take jobs. There is no way around it. Problem is, how many jobs does technology have to take for you to say it's enough? Technology, this AI stuff, it's creating videos that people can, you know, use. It's creating art. It's going to take jobs, unfortunately. There's no way around it. You can't say, let's progress technology and then stop at AI. Technology is always going to progress because people always want to make things easier. even if it means somebody else has to lose money on it. You know, I want to work. I want to make more money for myself, but if I make more money for myself and get my own business, it means my boss right now doesn't get to make much money because I'm not there. You know, you making more money or you making life easier for yourself will eventually at some point hurt somebody else, and I think that's the point of AI.
Is it because they want to improve the standard of living of the 60% of our people who live paycheck to paycheck? Americans who are struggling to pay for groceries.
I think it's a lot more than 60% of like people who live paycheck to pay. Got to be more than 60%. There's no way 30% of the 40% don't live paycheck. I think it's more than 60%.
Groceries, healthcare, housing, education. Maybe. Maybe they are staying up nights worrying about the working families of America. But I doubt it. I think it's because investing in AI and robotics will increase their already incredible wealth and power exponentially.
Yes.
Among other impacts, the artificial intelligence and robotics being developed by these multi-billionaires will allow corporate America to wipe out tens of millions of decent paying jobs, cut labor costs, and boost profits. The result? The wealthiest people in the world will get even richer while working families lose their jobs and their income.
Okay, so now we have an issue, right? We have an issue. People are losing their jobs. How do you solve that? What do you guys think? How do you solve that? People are losing their job because technology is getting better. How do you solve that?
Give them new jobs.
You're only slowing the problem. You're only slowing it. It's not solving the problem. You're just slowing it if you give them new jobs.
That's the problem. That's why I can't find. I myself, it may be because of me that I don't think. Well, but I think AI is giving many problems like this. Like, what they will just change career. That's what they should do.
Okay.
They can do anything else. Like every year, like, do you remember like Microsoft, Google, Riot Games? They just throw thousands of their programmers and switch them with fucking AI.
AI makes sense because it's cheaper, and life is it's just easier.
Right.
It's the logical step to take. AI is the logical step to take from everything from Turing, the father of AI, Alan Turing. It's the logical step to take. Here's the problem. I think the only ideal solution is, and this is, I think it's gonna take forever before we get to this common sense solution. It's a very common sense solution, and you'll realize it when I say it. It's a common sense solution, but it's gonna take us forever to get there. The only way to solve this is by making sure that people are not required to work in order to live. That's the only way. Because technology is only going to get better and better. It's going to get to the point where regular things like parenting will be done by technology. We've seen this in movies. I think what will happen, and the only logical way, is if we get to a point where you don't need to work in order to make a living. Because technology will replace every job, if not all jobs. You need to get to a point where working is not a requirement, where eating is a right, where being able to live in a household without paying rent is a right. We need to get to that point. That's the only logical way. There's no other way. Nothing else. The math doesn't add up. It's only going to get better and better. So, yeah, it's just, you need to get to a point where living does not require you to work.
And unless we are, here is, in my view.
What do you think?
Wait,
It sounds
your
good.
point is valid, but
It's the only logical conclusion.
yeah, because people will they want you to work. They will not give you something for free.
It's the only logical conclusion.
But that will not happen.
That's why I said it's going
That
to
will
take
never
forever
happen.
for us to get there. Yeah, exactly. I said it's going. I think the only thing AI cannot replace, the only thing AI can genuinely not replace, and this is just me, like a far reach, by the way. I think AI is going to replace things like movies and all that stuff. You're not going to see real actors anymore. You're not going. I think the only thing AI will not be able to replace is the whole concept of the gladiator arena. Football, sports. I think AI is not going to be able to replace sports. I think
Yeah.
Because the point of sports is not you watching somebody play, is you seeing real human beings struggle, push beyond limits, break new boundaries, all of those things. It's not necessarily just watching it. If that was the case, regular World Cup would have as many you would see things like the Avengers movies having as many watchers as World Cup. They don't. There is something that about the innate humans want to see other people perceive. It's the whole concept of gladiator arena. You watch these gladiators fight. You watch these soccer players play ball. You watch these volleyball players, football players. That's the only thing I don't see AI replacing. Because people want to see the adrenaline, the sports, the progression of the human race. People want to see that. I think that's the only thing AI cannot replace. AI has already replaced adult videos. Nobody can tell me it hasn't. It's already replaced it by a mile. AI has replaced everything else. I think that's the only thing it cannot replace. You might even say AI pastors, AI rabbis, AI you again genuinely, AI is replacing everything else. I think it's just obviously I think religion, like because people believe strongly in the soul and whatnot, that's where they're gonna draw the line. A heavy line. Religion is such a heavy line that people are not going to be able to like go past it. I don't think you're going to see you'll see obviously some people leaning over, but I think because of how strong the line is for religion, people are not going to let AI take over like churches and stuff like that, so or like Musk and anything like that. So that's going to be a strong line. Another thing is I would expect another strong line to be parenting, but realistically parents can be lazy. Parents can be lazy, and I don't think parenting. I think parenting is going to be a gray area. I don't think it's going to be a strong line. I think people will let AI and robots watch their kids. I think parenting is going to be a gray area. I also think another red line that's never going to get passed is the idea of gladiator arenas. You know, like sports and stuff like that. I think that's not going to get passed. Beauty pageants, they're going to let AI do it. Do we like seeing human beauty? Yes. But people are going to want to see how much more AI can make people beautiful without putting these models through the heavy effort of having to like don't control your diet and all these things. I genuinely think the only way to stop this is by making it so you don't have to work to live. That's the only logical conclusion. It's just logically speaking, that's it. I don't see any other way around it. Yeah, I've done the math. The math doesn't add up.
I don't claim to have all the answers. But in my view, this is what is likely to happen in the next 10 years. Now, as a member of Congress who vigorously opposed...
I think give it 3 years. 3 years, more people use AI than people don't. In 3 years. In 3 years, more people use AI than people don't. And this is, yeah, I'm saying give it 3 years, more people have AI than people don't.
You don't need to read ChatGPT. Everyone uses it.
Yeah, and and ChatGPT is like, not easily accessible for everybody. In 3 years, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, that was saying at least for the next 20 years, at least that there is jobs that will be there, like the
next 20 years. I think in the next 10 years, you're gonna have a hard. Okay, I've lost my job to AI. In the next 10 years.
Workers? Can you change hand workers?
Hand workers. What would be the hand worker?
Like constructor.
Construction, yes.
Can you switch it with a robot?
Yes, we have robots helping us in constructions already. Yes. Okay, look. Are humans capable of building? Yes, we built the Great Pyramids. We built the Great Wall of China. Humans are amazing at building with your hands. And you know what we said? Let's go ahead and get cranes. Let's go ahead and get these caterpillars to help us build. You've gone to constructions. Have you seen the technology that helps construction workers? It's only going to get easier with AI. It's only going to get easier. Yes, there's not... Bread will be made by AI. There's everything. There's... Right now in Texas, in I think it's San Antonio, Texas. I don't remember. Somewhere in Texas. They have self-driving cars practiced right now. And they've been doing it for roughly, I want to say, a few months, maybe 6 months or so. I'm giving it 3 years time. Most major cities will have self-driving cars that don't need you in there. You just go on your phone, order an Uber, and it's going to be self-driving. 3 years maximum. It's just, bro, come on. AI is not. There's just, nah. People are going to replace it, yeah.
The disastrous trade agreements that decimated communities.
And I don't want it. I like human ingenuity. I don't want AI to replace everything, but it's the only logical step. People want to make their life easier, so they'll do it.
I, like most Americans, want to see manufacturing rebuilt in the United States of America. But let us be clear. New factories won't mean much for working people if the jobs are done by robots instead of human beings.
Yep.
Elon Musk.
About 10 years ago, this started a long time ago, by the way. People are thinking this started roughly about 10, it's longer than 10 years ago. I want to say, I think something around 15 years ago, there was a huge influx. I think this was a long time ago, by the way. This was like not even 2010. This was like 2009, 2008, and all that stuff. There was a huge influx of factories that make cars. There was a huge influx of like robot machines that would build the cars rather than the factories workers were just there to supervise the machines. And a lot of people got fired. There was a huge firing of car making factories and stuff like that. They would fire a lot of their workers because they didn't need them anymore. They didn't. And nobody was seeing the signs back then. I noticed it. I was a kid and I still noticed it. I still noticed the signs. I would watch documentaries about technology and all this stuff, and people would say, wow, I can't wait till we have flying cars. I would watch these documentaries and I would think to myself, I'm not seeing anybody who is human in these factories. I'm seeing a robot hand moving around, putting these things together. It was bound to happen. It started a long time ago.
Tesla to build millions of robots. And what will these robots do? Well, obviously, they will replace the men and women working in our factories, warehouses, and in restaurants and in other areas. That means millions of good jobs could disappear. It's not very complicated. And of course, it's not just Musk. Amazon.
I just thought about this scenario, right? Sorry, I don't mean to pause this so much. I just thought about this scenario. If I was a worker at a restaurant, like let's say I was the owner of a restaurant and my restaurant's not doing well. All I have to do, okay? Literally all I have to do. Ask the restaurant version of ChatGPT, who would I guess invented or whatever, right? Hey, restaurant version of ChatGPT, tell me, I am making Italian food. Tell me all the most successful Italian restaurants within a 500-mile radius. And tell me what exactly they serve, how they serve their menu, what are the strategies that they use that I can implement in my failing restaurants so that I can do better. Do you know, like, what? That is revolutionizing for anybody who works at a restaurant. Yes. Anyone who works at a restaurant will say, give me that. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. This technology is thinking for you, which I think is dumb, by the way, okay? It's thinking for you. It's rationalizing for you. It's like having a second brain that works faster. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Owned by Jeff Bezos, has already laid off 27,000 workers since 2022. The company now has more than 1 million robots working in its warehouses, and soon these robots will outnumber human workers in Amazon facilities. In 2016, Foxconn, the massive manufacturing contractor for companies like Apple and Google, replaced 60,000 workers in a single huge factory in China with robots. Now, the company is planning fully automated factories. And just a few months ago, Foxconn CEO Young Liu predicted that artificial intelligence will make it unnecessary for large corporations to outsource jobs to low-wage countries. You know why? Because robots will be doing most of the manufacturing work. However, it is not just manufacturing jobs at risk. Most of us want to see the United States develop a strong, clean, and efficient transportation system, including the production of millions of new cars, buses, and trucks. But if Musk and others get their way, those vehicles won't be operated by truck drivers, bus drivers, or taxi drivers. They will be driverless vehicles. Millions of jobs in transportation will be eliminated. This is not science fiction. It's already happening. FedEx is using driverless trucks to haul heavy loads along the I-45 corridor between Dallas and Houston through a company called Aurora. Walmart is using autonomous trucks for short-haul deliveries in Arkansas through a company called Gator. Kodiak Robotics has partnered with IKEA to conduct driverless deliveries in Texas. Waymo is operating self-driving cabs in Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Austin. We all want to see more startup companies and small businesses, but for workers, that will mean very little if half of all white-collar entry-level jobs are eliminated over the next 5 years.
I genuinely am surprised that the first thing that got eliminated were white-collar jobs and not blue-collar jobs. I am surprised. White-collar jobs are simple things like drivers, restaurant workers. Those
What?
are yeah, like
Really?
like whenever you go to the store, and like the cashier, that's a white-collar job. I'm surprised that those were the first thing to get replaced. What I thought would be the first thing to get replaced are blue-collar jobs. The people who construction workers, the people who work at the oil grids. I thought those would be the first thing to be gone, because that's the most obvious thing. Like the oil rig workers are in dangerous environments, like steel mills. I thought those would be the first things. It's easier to get rid of white collar jobs. It's easier. It's way easier. So I think that's why it's the first thing to go.
It's not easy to remove blue colors, man. Like construction.
I agree.
Plumber. Can you remove plumber? Like right now, can you live without plumber? Can AI replace a plumber?
Right now,
think about
to my knowledge, there are no robot plumbers. To my knowledge, no, not yet, not yet.
And it's not easy to make one, by the way.
Of course, of course.
Like, if you're what's called do you know the word chauffage in French? Chauffage. The thing that make your room warmer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, will a robot? Can a robot fix that right now?
They're talking about the
Even in 10
heaters.
years, that would be hard. Yeah, heaters. Yeah, thank you.
In 10 years, I'm giving it 3. In 10 years.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, they will send you a robot and they will go through the stairs just to fix that for you.
5 years ago, look. 5 years ago, AI was not even this good. AI got this good within a year. A year.
Because it's still doing basic stuff. Like, if you're talking about like movement and things, it's still doing basic stuffs. If it's doing something in computer and internet, like programming or something, it can do it very well, and it's certainly better than humans. But doing something like real life, like moving object, going to some places, doing something, it's not easy yet.
Yes, yeah, fair enough.
I will keep it yet because we are evolving so fast, sadly.
The issue, I agree with Bernie Sanders in this. I agree with this guy. I don't like what is happening. I don't support AI. I don't like what is happening. But it's the only logical things for today. There is a second logical step. Hey guys, let's all decide not to advance technology too far and let's actually care about working people. That's logical if you're using feelings. I assure you people care more about an easier life and money than feelings. So there's no way around it. There's no way around. Unless we magically all start caring for each other, there's no way around it. And I assure you, we're not going to suggest that. Maybe I'm just being cynical, but we're just not going to magically all start caring about each other. Maybe I'm just being cynical, but yeah.
It is exactly what has been predicted by Dario Amodei, the founder of Anthropic.
This whole AI thing is scary, and I don't like it. Because when all the jobs are taken, where are we gonna be? Like you said, the most logical thing is to just like live without working. But
yeah, well, Wally had it right.
That's gonna happen.
Wally had it right. The only logical way is that you don't need to work. Look in Wally. I think what's good. Oh, jeez, this is even then. Okay, you've seen the show Black Mirror, right?
A couple episodes that you showed me.
Yeah, so there's several episodes in there, and I think all of them did. Like They kind of just it's supposed to be a dark version of humanity. There was an episode where they were focusing on the idea of social credit, except they like stretched it and like expanded on it, right? Essentially, the way you make anything, the way you buy anything is like the credit you have, and if you're an influencer or somebody who's really nice, people all like you, they'll give you positive points, and if they give you the positive points, you'd be able to use it for other stuff. If they give you negative points, you wouldn't be able to do much. You know, you would be stuck. You won't be able to afford a living. I think this is me trying to imagine a dark. I'm not trying, but this is the darkest thing I can imagine while trying to be positive. Okay. I think what's gonna happen. Most jobs are going to be taken, or if not all, most jobs are going to be taken over by robots and AI. And we're going to get to the point where, like, hey, we still need to have a way of having people earn some kind of food or whatever. So let's practice nice points or clout points. If you do something really cool, you get points. It's going to get to the point where, they're like, it's kind of, okay. We're gonna have a Hunger Game type scenario, okay? This is me trying to imagine. It's gonna be a Hunger Games type scenario, like, well, we're all bored at home, we're not doing anything. Here, we're going to give you 50,000 points if you can outrun all these other people getting chased by a lion. When humans are bored, they will do anything. I know this because rich people do dumb things with money because they're bored. When people are bored, they will do anything to satiate that boredness. And I assure you, morality is not more important than your boredom. People say they're moral right now. When people are bored, they will do anything. And yeah, so genuinely, I think it's only going to get darker. I don't think it's going to get better. I think it's only going to get darker. Logically. What do you think?
See, and I don't want to have to come to that. That's very dangerous.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, we don't have to worry. We will be dead by then. I generally don't see this. I don't see this not happening within the next 30 years. I think it's pretty close. I was gonna say we're gonna be dead by then, because like people are thinking like, well, 5 years ago technology was not this good, so it's increasing by like 5 years or so. No. It's increasing faster. 5 years ago it wasn't this good. 10 years ago it wasn't this good. It's increasing faster. In 2 years, it's going to make the progress that it took 5 years to make. Stuff like that, it's increasing faster and faster. It's only going to get better. We have robots now doing kung fu. Bro, I just want people to understand, we got robots. Is it good at kung fu? No. How long do you think it'll take for it to be good at kung fu, bro? Just like, come on now, bro. Oh my gosh, bro.
Well, at least we'll be older in age, closer to that.
I don't think that makes it any better, but okay.
AI companies in the world. As the ranking member of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, I just released a report finding that AI, automation, and robotics could replace nearly 100 million jobs in America over the next decade.
That's it? Just 100 million in the next decade? Nah. I think 100 million in the next 5 years.
Including 40% of registered nurses, 47% of truck drivers, 64% of accountants, 65% of teaching assistants, and 89% of fast food workers.
Sounds about right.
Many other occupations.
Mm-hmm.
And as bad as that may seem, I'm afraid it could be an underestimate.
He is right, it is bad. But it makes sense. It would be a different story if it's bad and it doesn't make sense. Then you could argue against it, try to fight it. Right now, you're fighting the rain pouring. What are you gonna do? It's gonna rain. It's just unfortunate.
In June, the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, predicted that AI could eliminate, quote, literally half of all white-collar jobs in the U.S., end quote, within the next decade. That's Jim Farley, Ford.
Say it again.
My job already uses AI.
Yeah, I have lost one of my jobs due to AI. Where I work right now, my current job can be replaced by AI. It's just going to take a minute. By a minute, I mean it's just going to take a few years. I don't mean it's going to take a decade. It's just going to take a few years. But where I'm at right now, like most jobs can be done by AI and robots. That's the problem. You know, it's.
Did we not learn from our robot with Will Smith?
Okay, so here. What did the average person learn from iRobot or Will Smith? A world with mostly robots that do everything is a bad world. Do you want to know what a manufacturer saw in iRobot? Because they're not looking at things the same way they were looking at. They said, oh, so I can make more money. That's what they're thinking. Gold mine. Why not make life easier for you? Because realistically, people don't care about each other. In the large scale, okay? Obviously, there are friends and stuff like that. In large scale things, people don't care about each other. It only makes sense that your boss, him spending money and paying you hurts him, because that's less money going to him and the company. If you two, for example, if you were a worker and you could hire 10 people to do something and you only had to pay them $5, you would do it. If you then could hire 5 people to do it and they would do it just as good as those 10 people and you still only have to pay them $5, you would say, why not go that way? Now, if you could only hire one computer and not have to pay $5, you get to keep that $5 and it still does the job of those 10 people in a faster time, why not do that? It only makes sense. And that's how these manufacturers are thinking. That's how these employers are thinking. It only makes sense. Now, for those 10 people, they're hating you because they don't get to work. But should you really hate somebody for wanting to make their life easier? I can't hate somebody for wanting to make their life easier. I can hate somebody for being insensitive and a horrible human being. You are not a horrible human being for wanting to make your life easier. What you do in that desire is what makes you horrible. But you're not a horrible person for wanting to make your life easier.
Elon Musk said this year that as a result of AI and robotics, quote, probably none of us will have a job. If you want a job, that's kind of like a hobby. You can do a job.
I knew it. See, I literally just said this. I said people are only going to be able to do this out of boredom, bro. I'm so smart, bro.
But otherwise, AI and robotics will provide any goods and services you want, end of quote. Earlier this year, Bill Gates predicted that humans, quote, won't be needed for most things, end quote, such as manufacturing products, delivering packages, or growing food over the next decade due to AI. So, my friends, here is a rather big question.
Okay.
If Musk and Gates and others are only half right in their predictions,
that's still bad.
what happens to the tens of millions of Americans who no longer have employment because they can't find jobs that don't exist? In this brave new world, how do these Americans pay for health care, food, housing, and the other necessities of life? But it's not just economics. Work, whether being a janitor or a brain surgeon, is an integral part of being a human being. The vast majority of people want to be productive members of
I agree. Work is built in our DNA. Work in however way that looks like, it's built in our DNA. Even before there was things like janitor jobs and stuff like that, work was built in our DNA. You can see this by hunting gatherers, women being foragers, all that stuff. Work is built in our DNA. The need to prove that you can survive is built in our DNA. Survival of the fittest is built in our DNA. We're built to try to prove that we're survival of the fittest. It's built in our DNA. So maybe our instincts are going to take over and we stop letting AI do this. Maybe. I don't know. But I think the only logical step.
But we're also the ones creating the AI.
Yes, because another thing that's also built in our DNA is how much better can this get? That's another thing that's built in our DNA. This food is really spicy. How much spicier can it get? Wow. This sort it's because we curiosity and innovation. This car is really fast. How much faster can it get? This bed is really soft. How much softer can it get? Wow, it's really nice that I have all this money. How much more can I get? We are always trying to push the boundaries. That's the only reason why we're pushing the boundaries of AI and all that stuff, you know. How much better can this get? This is how we think.
But why aren't people seeing this as a problem? Just
They are seeing it as a problem. It's a problem to... The thing is...
everybody but the rich people.
No. No. It's a problem that doesn't exist. That's the problem. It's a problem that doesn't exist. Or no, better yet. It's a problem that makes it worse for everybody if you solve it. The only way to solve it is by saying let's stop the production of AI. Let's genuinely halt it. Let's say AI should only do these jobs and these jobs it shouldn't do. Okay, cool. You make life harder for those who work at an oil rig, those who work at a white collar job. You make life harder for people who are employees and employers. You make life harder for all of them. The answer...
Life was like that before it.
Yes. The problem is the only way to answer this question is by saying, hey guys, let's all agree to try harder. No. No. The answer makes life harder. That's the reason why this hasn't been solved. Everybody knows this, by the way. Everybody knows AI is only going to take over. But you want to know why nobody's complaining? Because AI is helping me write essays. AI is helping me make videos. AI is making videos that I can scroll on TikTok for. So for now, AI is good. If you say let's halt AI, people are like, well, you know, I like these videos. I kind of don't want to halt it. The only way to answer this question is by making everybody's life harder. So nobody wants the answer to the question. So therefore, nobody wants to ask the question.
Society and contribute to their communities. What happens when that vital aspect of human existence is removed from our lives? Further, now we get into some pretty deep stuff.
Okay.
The rapid developments in AI will likely have a profoundly dehumanizing impact on all of us.
Absolutely.
In many ways, it will actually redefine what it means to be human.
Remember what I told you about people going to like start doing horrible dark things? That's literally the theme of the Running Man. I just realized it's literally the theme of the Running Man. It's the sub theme of Hunger Games. It's literally the theme of these things. Let's create games because we're bored. And we have everything. It's literally the theme of these things. Yeah. And these games are not very humane games. These games are games where you see people get hurt. It's gonna get bad. I'm sure people in the comments can name several shows like this too, but yeah, it's only gonna get worse.
Fundamentally alter our relationships to each other.
Yep.
And the very nature of what we call society. Can AI and robotics be of help to us in many ways? Absolutely.
Yep.
I believe they can. I am not a Luddite. The goal, however, is to make sure that the new technologies being developed serve human needs and not just further enrich a small number of multi.
I think he is correct in what he's saying, but he is wording it wrong. It should serve human needs and not serve human wants. But how do you tell somebody, hey bro, you don't get to have what you want, you only get to have what you need? You know how, bro, I dare you to tell that to another adult. Oh my gosh, bro. What? No. Yeah. Kids are out there. Look. Here's how bad things are right now. Generally right now, this is how I tell you it's not going to make sense. Right now, there are people who are using AI to make resumes. And most jobs in the United States have AI reading resumes. Do you know how dumb this sounds? I know this because I've worked in HR before. I've worked in hiring before. Most, like, the resumes that you guys send, we have AI reading them. The employers are not checking them. They have AI reading them for specific keywords. And if they find those keywords, they let you in. And then they continue, like, interviewing you for their first interview, second interview, all that stuff. So, and I also know that a lot of my friends are having AI make their resumes. AI is making resumes that AI is going to read. Do you know? Oh my gosh, bro. I'm sorry, but it was bad a long time ago. We're only now realizing it. Yeah, the knife fell off the counter years ago. Everybody is just now trying to look for it. So yeah, it was bad a long time ago. This is, yeah. The only logical way to stop this is by saying, hey guys, let's all agree that we're going to make our life harder.
Billionaires. We do not simply need a more efficient society. We need a world where people live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives.
That's the thing. A lot of people are going to disagree with him subconsciously. People agree with him with this video. I'm sure people are commenting to this video. Really, whoa, great ideas. People disagree with him subconsciously. People want a happier and healthier life. So fulfilling life is optional. Fulfilling life is optional. People want a happier, healthy life. Fulfilling life is optional. You want to know why? Because people will trade anything, including the fulfillment, to be happy. People will trade anything, including the fulfillment, to be healthy. But they will not trade happier and healthiness for fulfillment. They will not. That's how I know fulfillment is not a requirement for people. It should be a requirement, but it's not.
So, where do we go from here? And again, I don't have all of the answers, but here are just a few ideas.
Okay, let's see what he
how,
has.
in my view,
Okay.
advances in technology can benefit ordinary Americans, not just multi-billionaires. First, we must move to a 32-hour work week with no loss in pay. Think about it. Today, American workers are 400% more productive than they were in the 1940s when the 40-hour work week was first established.
Right.
Artificial intelligence and robotics will greatly increase that productivity. Workers must benefit from that increased output.
Well, okay, that looks great on paper. How does that look like in practice? So you work 8 hours less. Cool. Maybe you have like a 4-day weekend or a 3-day weekend. Cool. How does that look like in practice? So you say, okay, guys, every Friday AI gets to do our jobs, but from Monday through Thursday we do it. Then your job is gonna say, well, why can't I just do it like every Thursday and Friday? And you guys like, man, you see how dumb this? Look, I'm not saying he has a dumb idea. He has a really great idea on paper. On paper, it just doesn't sound. I want to see it in practice.
Put to a shorter work week. A 32-hour work week with no loss in pay would be a major step forward in improving the quality of life for millions of Americans. Second,
Okay.
we must require large corporations to allow workers to elect at least 45% of the members of their boards of directors, similar to what already takes place in Germany.
Okay, so you know how we elect people to be president, senators, and all that stuff. We then elect people. So like the people who decide whether or not AI is going to replace the workers or not is usually by job, like by board members of a job. So you elect whoever the decision makers are at Tesla, so that they can decide whether or not to replace you in the factory. Interesting. This actually, okay, that idea I like better. Because then you can elect somebody who you believe has the same ideas that you have. You know what? I like that idea better. Interesting. That's a more tangible idea. Yeah, that makes sense.
Need a seat at the table to best determine how AI is used in their companies.
Right.
If Tesla workers were on their corporate board, I doubt very much that they would be rewarding Elon Musk with $1 trillion pay package. Third, we must greatly increase profit sharing at our nation's largest corporations. In my view, workers should receive at least 20% of the stock in companies they work for. Corporate profits should not...
That's not a bad idea. Tell that to the nigga who's rich, though. That's not a bad idea. But tell that to the nigga who's rich. These are 2 good ideas. He has 2 good ideas. But just tell the nigga who's rich that, hey, bro. Like, would it hurt you if you lost $1 million? Like, you could lose $1 million. Yes, it wouldn't hurt them. But, it's whatever. It's whatever. Try to tell it to them.
The rich, wealthy stockholders and the billionaires who own them. 4, we need to substantially expand the concept of employee ownership in America.
What do you mean?
When workers own their own businesses
Uh-huh.
and are more involved in the decision-making processes, they will make choices that benefit everyone
This is just expanding more on the second option about election. This is just expanding more on that.
in the company, not just the people on top. Fifth, instead of providing billions of dollars in tax breaks to companies that are throwing workers out on the street and replacing them with new technologies, we should enact a robot tax on large corporations.
A robot
and use that
tax.
revenue
Ooh.
to workers who have
Ooh, that's spicy. Because right now there's an employee tax. There's been an employee tax for a long time. So robot tax. Ooh. Tell them in order to continue using this robot or this AI, you gotta pay. Damn. Okay, now he's spitting. Now he's spitting.
in this transition. Bottom line, AI. And
All that's gonna do though is just slow it down by a lot. He is slowing it down by a lot, by 10 years roughly. He is slowing it down by a lot. It's not gonna solve it, but it's gonna slow it down.
Products will bring a profound transformation to our country. Nobody denies that. In my view, we must fight to make sure that these changes benefit all of us and not just a handful of billionaires. Let the debate begin, and we need your participation. Thank you very much.
Hey man, I didn't think he would make up like some pretty good ideas. Let's see what people are saying. You're not the only damn politician I've heard talk about this. Oh no, he says you're the only damn he is the only politician I have heard talk about this. I'll be honest. I will be honest. He is the only politician I've heard talk about this. We do not simply need more efficient society. We need a society that's full of. That's the kind of progress worth striving for. It is worth striving for, but who is gonna work for it? You know, seriously, I can't believe the American people missed the chance to elect him as president. Yeah, he was running for president at one point, but people didn't want him because again, he was doing the good things. No one wants a guy who's doing the good things. Unfortunately, this man is thinking humans first, where America is thinking money first. Yeah, he will go down as the only person who tried genuinely. Okay. I am trying. I just don't have any money. I'm trying to, you know. I'm trying to, you know. But yeah, no. Shout out to like people can tell, you know. There's nobody who thinks he's wrong. Everybody thinks he's right, but he's on the wrong side of logic. But he's right.